I'm Amanda Burrell, and I'm in Spain to look at a project that's saving one of the world's most endangered mammals.
And I'm Sabina Shrestha, reporting on how Nepal's forests are being saved by local communities.
And I'm Belinda Henley at Zealandia, a wildlife sanctuary in the heart of New Zealand's capital city, Wellington.
And I'm Russell Beard outside the Supreme Court in London to meet a big thinker who believes the Earth needs a lawyer.
The Iberian lynx is the most endangered cat in the world. It used to be common in Spain and Portugal, but by 2005, there were less than 150 left. I'm Amanda Burrell, and I've come to Doñana National Park in the south of Spain. I'm on my way to visit a breeding centre which lies at the heart of a programme which is stopping the Iberian lynx from dying out.
Encantada de conocerte. Bienvenida.
Thank you very much. Why is this centre so necessary?
Bien, el lince ibérico se encuentra en una situación muy crítica. Es el felino más amenazado del mundo. Tenemos un número de animales en cautividad para preservar la diversidad genética y estamos criando linces para llevar a cabo programas de reintroducción. Puedo enseñarte las instalaciones donde tenemos a los animales.
I can't see any lynxes.
Ahora mismo ellos están ocultos en sus parideras o detrás de un tronco. Los animales están habituados a que solo un grupo de personas, sus cuidadores, estén cerca de las instalaciones y andando por las instalaciones. Queremos que eviten el contacto con el humano, queremos que tengan aptitudes para sobrevivir en la naturaleza. La única forma que tienes de ver linces es a través del sistema de videovigilancia, a través de nuestras cámaras. Muy bien, Amanda, aquí tienes los linces.
Wow, they're beautiful.
Sí, sí lo son, fantásticos. Pues tenemos más de 60 cámaras, las 24 horas del día, todo el día. Cada hora tomamos unos datos etológicos de los animales. Nos han permitido conocer mucho del comportamiento de esta especie que no se sabía. Hemos descubierto cómo son las cópulas, estamos evaluando a los cachorros que van a ir al campo.
This intelligence gathering is paying off. 6 years ago, the programme started with only 4 lynxes. Today, there are 30, and they all need feeding.
Un día para todos los animales podemos gastar 15, 16 conejos muertos. Los animales en cautividad siempre los tenemos controlados el peso, los tenemos muy controlada la alimentación. Depende del día de la semana, unos días comen vivos, otros muertos.
No. Poor little things. One of the problems in the world is that the rabbit, which is the lynx's main source of food, is disappearing due to disease. So for the lynxes here in captivity, it's luxury that there are rabbits on tap every day. The loss of their natural habitat, hunting and road accidents have also proved fatal for the Iberian lynx. But the animals here are well looked after. Right, let's go and deliver lunch. The lynx's enclosure, which we're about to go into, is incredibly protected to ensure that the lynxes don't get any disease. So I'm having to put this sterile suit on in order to make sure that I don't harm them. We're the first film crew who's ever been able to enter into the enclosures. These are wild and dangerous animals, and if they feel threatened, then they may attack.
Es importante para el lince buscar la comida, porque todos los días le pusiéramos la comida en el mismo sitio, el animal se llega a acostumbrar y pierde calidad de vida.
It's a real fine balance between keeping the lynxes in captivity, but also ensuring that they maintain the habits that they would have in the wild. ¿Qué es eso?
Es una chapa de acero con un canalillo y la orina cae en estos recipientes que diariamente recogemos. Rocío, ya tenemos la muestra de Damán. Cambio.
This is a non-invasive way to see the renal function of our lynxes. The strip is going to say us if there's blood or infection in the urine, if there is glucose or protein.
And you do this regularly for every single lynx?
Yeah, at least once a month.
A urine analysis like this can detect illnesses such as kidney disease, urinary tract infections, and diabetes, which lynx, like other cats, are prone to. If blood cells, protein, or glucose are present, further investigations need to be done. Reproductive health is also checked by monitoring hormone levels in blood and feces. ultrasound examinations, and sperm collection. And DNA samples are taken from body tissue, so each lynx's genetic makeup can be determined. All this scientific knowledge and detailed observation is pooled weekly with one sole purpose in mind: making babies.
No desperdiciar a un macho como Félix y, no sé, juntar a lo mejor a Gitanilla con Eva, ¿no?
Me gusta más esa pareja porque Damán con Aura, con lo que se vio el año pasado, es que se llevan fatal.
Why is it so important to get the pairing right?
Hay muchos animales que necesitan conocer al macho con el que van a estar copulando, así como conocer a la hembra. Tenemos en cuenta la genética, pero también el conocimiento. Conocemos a los animales perfectamente.
So it's like a dating agency with a very serious purpose.
Sí, no cabe duda. Estamos trabajando con una especie en peligro crítico de extinción. Este año, aquí en Acebuche, han nacido 14 cachorros. 8 de ellos los estamos entrenando para liberarlo al medio natural. Es un momento increíble y fantástico. Llevamos muchos años trabajando por llegar a este momento y nada, ha llegado. Estamos preparados.
El Acebuche is part of a larger programme. 5 centres in Spain and Portugal breed cubs to reintroduce into protected areas such as this, Doñana National Park. It's the cool of the day now, so we're hoping they're going to be out hunting. But because they're such solitary and reclusive creatures, we're going to be incredibly lucky to see one. Vamos.
Manchas, color pardo, un color parecido a la vegetación, de tal forma que podemos tenerlo al lado del coche y no lo vemos.
And how likely are we to see a lynx today, do you think?
Una entre 1000. De 1000 días que viene ves uno.
Okay.
Sí, es la comida.
A rabbit? Okay, so maybe there's a lynx nearby wanting breakfast?
Sí. Puede ser un buen sitio para ver. Una zona donde hay mucha comida, mucho conejo. Podemos intentar buscar por aquí a ver si vemos algo. Viene por aquí, camuflándose entre el matorral. Él es bajito, pequeñito, él no es muy grande y viene camuflándose para que los conejos no lo vean.
This area is actually artificially created. These tree stumps have been planted here to encourage rabbits to live here. And of course, where there are more rabbits, then there's likely to be more lynxes.
Ve las tripas.
Wow, God, look, there's a rabbit head here. And this is rabbit guts. And they look quite fresh, don't they?
Es fresco, es de esta mañana.
I mean, this is really exciting because it shows we're on the right track. I'm really disappointed that I haven't seen a lynx here in Doñana, but I'm also really happy that I saw the next best thing, the remains of a rabbit, still fresh from when the lynx had eaten it just an hour before. So this is evidence that the conservation programme has got off to a good start. But there's still a long way to go before the threat of extinction that hangs over the Iberian lynx disappears.
My generation of Nepalis grew up with this saying, the green forests of Nepal are its true wealth. But that national wealth is declining really fast. Every year, 2 to 4% of Nepal's forest is decimated. And in the past 2 decades, we lost a quarter of our forest coverage. We're heading towards the mountains, the district of Telugu, where things are significantly different. So here we are in eastern Nepal, and Tulsi and Ganesh here are going to take us to a forest managed by the local community, which is somewhere down there. Should we go?
Yes. सक्सेस हुनको लागि यो समुदायले आफै व्यवस्थापन गरेको, आफै संरक्षण सम्वर्धन गरेको र उसकै लागि उपयोग गर्ने चीज भएको हुँदाखेरि यो सफल छ। यो जंगलमा चाहिँ करिब 50,000 रुखहरू छन्। र यो निश्चित उमेर पुगेपछि मलाई लाग्छ एउटा रुखको मूल्य कम्तीमा 5,000 हुन्छ। यो हिसाबले हेर्ने हो भने असाध्यै धेरै प्रपर्टी अब यो सामुदायिक वनभित्र छ।
So for each tree that is chopped, at least 2 or 3 trees are planted, just to make sure that the forest is sustainable.
यहाँ केही थिएन नि पहिले पहिरै मात्रै थियो केही नि थिएन रुखपात त्यो उम्रेकै थिएन अहिले अहिले सबै थोक राम्रो भइरहेको छ
चिरैतो यो चाहिँ हाम्रो सामुदायिक वनभित्र पाइने एउटा यो चिरैतो भन्छ पहाडी क्षेत्रमा पाउने यो अति मूल्यवान यो हाम्रो चाहिँ अब किलोको 500 रुपैयाँ किलो अलिकति खाएर हेर्ने त्यसलाई कस्तो रहेछ सरे
त्यस्तै धेरै खाने होइन थोरै खाने
जति आम्दानी हुन्छ त्यो आम्दानीलाई 3 भाग लगाउनुहुन्छ 3 भाग लगाएर 1 भाग हाम्रो समूहलाई दिनुहुन्छ भने 2 भाग चाहिँ उहाँहरू उपभोक्ताले राख्नुहुन्छ अहिलेको अवस्था हेरेर र अगाडिको अवस्था तुलना गर्दाखेरि उहाँहरूको आर्थिक अवस्था चाहिँ निकै माथि उक्सिएको देख्छौँ के जस्तो उहाँहरू अलिक धनी हुनुभयो उहाँहरूले आफ्नो बच्चाहरू पढाउने घरायसी काम गर्न
अहिले मेरो चाहिँ जम्मा सामुदायिकलाई दिएर पनि जस्तै मानिलिउँ 1.5-2 लाख भयो भनौँ न अहिले
ए तपाईहरुको वन त एकदमै धनी रहेछ त म नि यही आएर बस्नु पर्ला
हैन अब बस्नु पर्छ नि मिस अब जडीबुटी जस्तो चिज हो अब
मलाई चाहिँ So we've just seen a forest that's doing really well. Now we're going to see a forest that's just been started a couple of years ago. यहाँको जंगल त्यतिको ठुलो बन्नलाई कति समय लाग्छ होला
यो चाहिँ करिब 15 देखि 20 वर्ष उति अलि छिटो बढ्छ पहिला चाहिँ सिमसार क्षेत्र सानो यसो भैँसीले पानी खाने र भैँसी आल बस्ने मात्रै थियो
यसले मात्रै भएन हो हाम्रो कपिलदाहरू हामीले सिमसार क्षेत्रको संरक्षण गर्यौं भने भोलिको हाम्रो सन्तानहरुलाई या यो अहिले विश्व चर्चित जलवायु परिवर्तन जोखिमबाट अनि बच्नको लागि हुने रहेछ भन्ने कुरा हामीले सिकेर हामीले अब यो त्यही अनुसारको हामीले नर्सरी राखेका छौं
अहिले पछिल्लो बेला चाहिँ उपभोक्ताहरूले वनको महत्त्व बुझे आवश्यकता बुझे यो वन हामीलाई चाहिन्छ है भन्ने कुरा बुझेर अब जनताले नागरिकहरूले प्रेसर गर्छन् यति वन हामी सामूहिक रूपमा संरक्षण संवर्धन र व्यवस्थापन गर्छौं
The people here depend on the forest for their living. Handing forest management back to these communities seems to be a perfect way to address the needs of the people and of the environment.
In most countries, the environment has no legal rights. Corporate CEOs and heads of state are not bound by law personally to look after the earth and clean up any mess they've made. Environmental lawyer Polly Higgins is trying to change that.
In April 2010, she proposed to the UN that ecocide, the environmental equivalent of genocide, becomes the 5th international crime against peace. And today she's organised a mock trial at the Supreme Court in London as if that law has already been ratified.
When was the kind of the moment, the light switching on for you that you decided that this was going to be your path, that you wanted to push this forward?
At the moment, as a lawyer, as a barrister, I just don't have the tools of my trade to do this. Today what we're seeing here is for the first time barristers have these tools to use in court, and that's hugely important.
So this is not a case of just corporate bashing?
No.
No?
Not at all. This is really a legislation that's about putting in place a law that creates a kind of think before you act mechanism.
It may be a mock trial, but the cases are based on real events and nothing is scripted. Eminent human rights barrister Michael Mansfield will lead the prosecution against the chief executives of 2 fictional energy companies, while a real jury must ultimately decide if the alleged crimes constitute ecocide and if the CEOs are to blame. Today, the trial concerns the ongoing ecological damage caused by surface mining at the Athabasca tar sands in Canada, and the massive oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, which flowed for 4 months in 2010.
There are some crimes that are regarded as so serious by the international community that they've been made international crimes. Companies cannot be given a license to spill and kill, provided they clear up the mess. That's what this is about. Strict liability and accountability.
It's amazing. You can really feel the gravitas in the case. At one point, the jury were actually dismissed for a few minutes. And could you explain what was happening there?
That was a legal issue that was raised by the defence, the interpretation of the Ecocide Act that's been drafted. Now, that was dismissed by the judge. It was an interpretation of what constitutes a superior responsibility.
Superior responsibility is the principal doctrine of Polly's proposed act, which would hold the heads of corporations personally accountable for any environmental damage committed by their company.
Well, it's really interesting seeing this being put into effect, and it's a really good idea to do a mock trial, to have 2 people sitting there who will, if this act is ever brought into force, be the individuals who are sitting there responsible and answering for the crimes that they've alleged to have committed. Ultimately, ecocide is a crime, and crimes are committed by individuals, not companies.
Back in the court, the defence turn up the heat on a prosecution witness.
Until a day or 2 ago, your knowledge of tar sands extraction was virtually non-existent.
That's correct, yes.
Can you help us?
No, I can't help you on that.
I really don't know. This could be acquittals, it could be convictions. I have no real strong sense.
After an hour of speculation outside the court, we're called back in to hear the final verdict.
Foreman, please stand. Do you find Mr. Bannerman guilty or not guilty of count 2?
Guilty.
Do you find Mr. Tent guilty or not guilty of count 3?
Guilty.
What number convicted and what number acquitted?
The decision was unanimous.
That was amazing. You weren't sure. You weren't sure which way.
It's about ensuring that we all understand the principles. And I think even Polly will say she's got to go back to the Act, as we all have, tighten it up, and make sure that when it is accepted by the United Nations, it'll stick.
I don't actually want to see lots of CEOs in the dock. I'm not anti-profit, not at all. But I am anti-profit that's coming out of vast damage and destruction, the likes of which is being examined today. Hopefully, this is the beginning of the end.
I'm Belinda Henley at Zealandia, a wildlife sanctuary in the heart of New Zealand's capital city, Wellington, where groundbreaking conservation work is bringing some of the world's most endangered species back from the brink of extinction. New Zealand, a South Pacific island paradise that took almost 80 million years to evolve, has almost been ecologically destroyed in the last few hundred. It's a decline that began with the arrival of humans and the animals they brought with them. In a lot of ways, this fence really is your greatest achievement, isn't it?
Absolutely. Without the fence, we wouldn't have achieved what we've got today. It's our skin.
Almost 9 kilometres of skin, designed to keep out all pests and predators. The curved top stops climbers, such as possums, cats and rats. And the underground skirt excludes the burrowers, like ferrets and stoats. And then the hard work really started, which was actually getting everything from this side of the fence out.
Yes.
Since the fence went up 10 years ago, the only predators on site are in Raywin's freezer. So this is where the baddies end up. I hope it's not mixed up with your ice cream.
No, we're very careful about that. I think what we've got in here is a possum. So it's more than 12 years since we've had a live possum in the sanctuary.
And it's hard to believe something as cute as this could be such a devastating pest.
Right. That certainly has an impact on the vegetation. So they eat lots of things. We've got rata in the valley that are struggling to survive, or struggled to survive before the possums were taken out. But they also, we now know that possums eat eggs and chicks of birds, and so a really good animal to get rid of. Here I've got a stoat. Stoats will kill birds as big as takahe.
So ever since that eradication program, no stoats have been found?
Not a single stoat, no live stoats since 1999.
And so the birds are really flourishing as a result?
Absolutely, it's terrific.
30 species now live free from introduced predators inside the mainland island created by Zealandia's fence. Among them reptiles, birds and fish. There's not many places in the world the national media gather for a glimpse of a couple of birds. In this case, New Zealand's most endangered, the flightless takahe. Two of the only 225 left in the world. The takahe join an astounding collection of some of the world's most endangered creatures. Among them, the tuatara, a reptile remnant from the time of the dinosaurs, which had been extinct from mainland New Zealand since the 1700s. Not so sure about what we're going to find in this box. And another prehistoric creature, the giant weta. So this is the only place in mainland New Zealand that we can see these giant weta?
Yeah, this is the Cook Strait giant weta. Rats love them, so they became extinct on the mainland 100 years ago. And so we've had to bring these wetas back in from offshore islands. It's so thrilling. I love them.
But the real stars of the sanctuary are the stunning collection of birds, including the kakariki, whose rowdy call hadn't been heard in the city for decades.
That's the red-crowned kakariki, missing from Wellington for over 100 years, and now we've got the sound of them back. It's just wonderful.
But perhaps the biggest success story is that of the little spotted kiwi, which are closely monitored by the country's leading kiwi expert, Dr. Hugh Robertson.
Let's try here, see if you get the signal.
What are you listening out for? Oh yeah, you can hear the beat.
That beat?
Yep.
We released 40 birds here 10 years ago, and we determined there were about 95 to 100 birds now.
I would love to see one.
We'll try. We've got the dog here to help us locate it.
Come on, Cara. Come on.
We've gone past it now. The signal's more over this way. Yeah, we can try up there.
But the transmitter can only take you part of the way. It takes Cara, the kiwi dog, to bring you home.
Yeah, I think it's just in here somewhere. That's where I reckon it'll be down here somewhere. Death here, but this is the only way you can, unfortunately.
They don't like being pulled out of their burrows.
They don't. Oops,
Is it a he or a she?
This is a he. One of the features of kiwi is that they've got their nostrils right down here where my finger's pointing, rather than at the base of the bill like all other birds. So they use that sense of smell to hunt for insects, and sharp little claws.
Yeah, no, those claws do look a bit vicious. You've got a few scars.
Just rest them like you would a baby there.
Feel a bit of pressure. This is worse than holding a newborn baby. Such a precious creature. Do you have any idea how lucky I am to be doing this? It's amazing.
You get a biscuit for that, don't you?
The kiwi may be the poster child for Zealandia's success, but all creatures, great and small, are vital to this shining example of ecological rejuvenation. The trick now is how to spread this success to the rest of mainland New Zealand.
It is 6:30 and we've woken to news of a lion kill that's taken place in the last few hours. Apparently an ostrich was taken and we're on our way to check it out. One of the lionesses in the pride that made the kill has been fitted with a transmitter which should identify precisely where the group is feeding. So how far away do you think the line is?
I think it's maybe about 300 yards from where we're standing.
That close?
Yeah, quite far.